So I wanted to add one more quick video to this, and that was something that someone said on Slack, which is there's going to be a difference between outputting a linear EXR in ACES CG from the normal Cinema 4D saver than there is with the Arnold driver output. And so I wanted to do a test on my own and see really if there was a difference between rendering it out linear EXR from the normal C4D saver or the Arnold driver output. So if you look in here, I've got Fusion open. I've got this render of this this car, and I rendered it out both in a completely ACES CG pipeline using the normal saver in Cinema 4D, and then this one using the Arnold driver output. And I threw them both into a color corrector, which is instant, so that I adjust one, it will adjust in the other. And then I merged it using difference mode. So if these were exactly identical, this would be a completely black image. So you can see it's not completely black. There is just the slightest difference in this highlight from the HDRI. Other than that, though, there's really not anything else that my eye is seeing except maybe a little bit of the highlight coming outside of the HDRI on that side. So the difference between these is so tiny, it's pretty much imperceivable. In fact, if we look at this in just a normal scenario, so that's A, B, your eye won't even see a difference. In fact, even if we zoom in on the area in which there is some difference, if I A-B that, I can't even tell. If it wasn't for this difference mode, I wouldn't even know that was there. Now let's just crank the gain up to see if we can maybe get this to act a little bit more different. So now we're gaining this up by quite a bit. In fact, it's like completely blown out. But in our merge, we're now starting to see some difference between these two outputs. Let's crank this up to maybe 6. And maybe let's go up to 10. So this is extremely, just cranking it very, very high, and now we're starting to see just a little bit of a difference. So I guess it's up to you whether or not this little difference is going to make or break you. Ultimately, the downside of doing a driver output with your Arnold renders is that you're not going to be able to use tokens, and that's a huge problem for me. I love tokens, but I think that I might play around with this a little bit more and see if there really is any other limitations that maybe this particular scene isn't showing me. But for me right now, I don't see a huge difference, and I think I'm probably going to stick with outputting directly out of Cinema unless I run into a scene that it definitely makes a big difference on. But ultimately, that's up to you and how you like to work. I guess the more proper way of doing it is going to be using the driver output, but the caveat, you're going to lose the takes. So that's kind of a bummer. All right, well, I hope this was informative. I'm going to continue to learn about ACES as I encourage all of you to, and I'll post any new findings here on Grayscale World Plus so we can all learn together. All right, have a good one.